Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to LinkedIn Live Leadership. It's number 12 in the series. Today, we're going to be talking about leading with a coaching style. My name's Gary Crosby. I'm an action coach, business coach in my home office today. And the purpose of this sequence for me is really just to share with you some ideas and strategies about leadership that I've learned in my career. 31 years in the Royal Air Force, some time in the corporate world, and 3 years as a business coach. And sometimes I spend quite a bit of effort helping people who are moving from being the person who does everything in their business to being the leader of their business. That's a tough journey for some, and I want to share some of my ideas from that. The outcome, as always, is a really simple one. These last for about 10 minutes, and therefore at the end of that 10 minutes, I want you just to think to yourself, you know what, I'm glad I signed in. That's been useful. I've learned something that I can use in my leadership journey. So let's kick it off. I've realized I've made a big mistake to start with, which is that this is one of Daniel Goleman's 6 styles of leadership, right? Leading in a coaching style. We should have talked about that as a principle before, all 6 of those, so that you can see where you fit into that kind of model. But we've dived into this one. We'll do the 6 styles of leadership next week for LinkedIn Live Leadership number 13. So let's get started. First of all, we've got to ask ourselves why. Why would we adopt the leadership style of coaching? The coaching style of leadership. Let's get that right. Okay, so fundamentally, it's about helping people to get better. Okay, so what we're going to achieve, first of all, by adopting this kind of principle is that we're going to help people to maximize their potential, right? That's what coaching is all about. The people have got potential latently within them, and we're going to unlock it by having a coaching style of leadership. The second thing is that probably as a consequence of that, we would expect organizational performance to improve. And if that's one of your goals, if you've got a vision for your organization or for your business, then this coaching style of leadership will get you closer to that vision by doing that and helping your people to improve. Now, the next thing I want to focus on, of course, is the fact that this isn't for everybody. Right. And you've got to be, I'm being absolutely clear about this. If this is not your leadership style, if you're not this sort of person, it will be difficult for you to deliver a coaching style of leadership. So let's just have a think about what kind of person would be good at this. Okay. So there's 4 kind of characteristics that I always think about. The first 2, we would group them into emotional intelligence, if you like. But the first one is that you've got to have good self-awareness. All right. If you're aware of what's happening around you and to you, then you've got that good level of self-awareness. That helps you when it comes to delivering a coaching style of leadership. You've got to have that good self-management. Okay. So a situation arises, you can feel some kind of emotion welling up inside you. If it's a negative emotion, like a bit of anger or a bit of fear, then you can do what Stephen Covey always says in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You recognize there's a gap between that stimulus, that emotion welling up in you, and that response that you can give. If you're able to handle your emotions like that, that's really good. That's a good sign for delivering this kind of program. I'm not saying you have to be unemotional. I'm just saying you have to recognize and be able to handle your emotions. So that's the second thing. The third thing is you've got to have what all good leaders have got to have, and that's empathy, the ability to stand in other people's shoes, some care and some concern for the individuals that are working with you and for you. So if you don't have that, then that's going to make it difficult for you to do a coaching style of leadership. And finally, you've got to have those good relationship skills. So, good communication, good collaboration, the ability to inspire, the ability to motivate. They're all important things in leadership. If you've got that kind of persona, then it's quite likely that this style of leadership, coaching style, is something that you'll be able to do. Okay. So that's why we're going to do it. That's the sort of person who can deliver it, bearing in mind that not everybody can. Let's have a look at how you would do it. Okay, so there's a couple of things to start with that I always pick out here. So when you start to embark on this kind of leading with a coaching style, then an important thing to do is recognize that there's 2 things that you want in your people to make sure that they're also suited, because not everybody will be suited to this. The first thing is that you want people who have themselves got a good level of self-awareness, right? They've got to be able to raise their awareness of the situation they're in. What kind of situation do I find myself in? What kind of situation do I want to be in? And be aware of that difference. And the second thing they've got to have is that responsibility for their own situation. So the ability to accept responsibility for where they are and where they want to go to is really, really important. If you want to read more about awareness and responsibility, this is the Bible, John Whitmore's Coaching for Performance. There's some really good stuff in here, including a lot of work on the most popular coaching model of all, right? So we've got some certain types of people that we can put into this kind of process. What are we going to do with them? Well, we're going to do what I would call fairly standard coaching, in the sense that we're going to spend some time identifying what kind of skills gap they've got, because remember, the whole focus of this is helping your people to get better. So we identify where there is a bit of a skills gap. We identify what kind of end state we would like that would close that skills gap off. We'll then look at building a pathway to that closing of the skills gap. So what are the next few steps we need to take? What's the kind of long-term plan to get that level of skill up that we want in the employee? We're going to set some milestones. We're going to set some objectives. We're going to set some timescales so that we know exactly when and how this is going to be done. And then finally, and probably most importantly in the coaching style of leadership, we're going to have a very regular feedback loop in which the person is kept abreast of where they are and what the skills gap is looking like. Are we getting to the point where the skills gap is closing? And if you've got people like that and you coach them like that, then it is likely that their individual performance will improve, and then the organizational performance improves with it. So we can't get any simpler than that. That is a very simple overview. There's lots of stuff and lots of material out there. Just Google Daniel Goleman if you want to know more about his view of the coaching style of leadership. And as I say, we'll correct the mistake and go back next week in LinkedIn Live number 13 and show you what those 6 styles are. You'll be able to spot yourself in that. If you're watching it now, you liked what you saw, give me a thumbs up, put a comment on LinkedIn. If you know somebody who might benefit from that, then just tag them in so they can see it as well. If you're watching on YouTube later on, because we do this every single week, if you subscribe and hit that bell, then you're going to get a little notification that says there's some new content. So that might be useful for you. All right, so that's it for this week. Next week, LinkedIn Live leadership number 13, the 6 leadership styles according to Daniel Goleman. Some further training on leadership for you, because I can't tell you what kind of leader you need to be. But if you learn about leadership, the more you learn about leadership, the more choice you have about how to lead your people in any given situation. Hope that was really useful for you. And I will see you again. It's Wednesday at midday every single week. LinkedIn Live Leadership. We'll see you again soon.